the light novels, but I already owned them.
So buy them again.
You should buy this book. We think you'll like it. Yes. Yes, I too think I would read this book. Given that I already read it a year ago, you fucking morons.
Hello there, chaps.
Oh, hello.
Salutations.
Alright, yeah, you guys can hear me fine now, right?
Yes, indeed.
Correct.
Yeah, I set a voice meter, and did some fuckery with the virtual audio cables. So, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I think it's fine.
Oh no.
Sounds fine.
Yeah, good. Also, lets me tune things a bit better. It's handy.
The fuck is that?
What?
Someone, Berto posted a fucking GIF, and I have no idea what's going on here.
Oh, yeah, just wait until the reveal. It's kind of funny. Oh, there.
Black guy. Cool. What?
Yep.
Oh, they tried
someone tried to-
disguising them as mattresses?
What? What is going on?
Pretty funny. Some black guys tried to sneak through Mexico, by hiding inside...
I think it's Spain. It's
oh,
Spain.
It's Spain? Okay.
Yeah, the
Some
Guardia
black guys
Civil.
tried to sneak
so-
into Spain by hiding inside, bed lookalikes. Like, it looked like they were carrying two twin beds on top of their roof. When in actuality, it was two black guys inside beds.
I see.
Yep. Pretty epic.
That's... I mean... At least it's smarter than people trying to sneak into Britain in a truck and freezing to death.
No, I actually wholeheartedly support that one.
You support it because they died. Please don't get us fucking banned, you idiot.
We're not live yet, don't worry about it.
No, we are. I could hear.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mute us. Oh well, it's whatever.
Whoops! Never mind then.
God, you fucking moron.
It's not too bad. Yeah, everyone gets to hear that we're actually like, sentient and not dead.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently someone has managed to hit level 120 without dying once.
In what? WoW?
Yep.
That's easy.
Yeah. Just don't run dungeons.
Don't run dungeons.
I mean, there was that. The impressive one was that one guy that leveled up to max level with Pandaren, who never left Pandaria because he used fishing.
Oh yeah, that dude. Oh,
That is
by
impressive.
the way, did you see that WoW Classic? Oh damn it, I forget. They beat one boss without killing any of his subordinates to make it easier.
Cool.
Be damned if I can remember what boss. It was there in my head, and it's just like, nah, we don't care about this anymore.
I don't care about it either, so it's all right.
Exactly. Hooray.
All
Nothing
right,
of value
well,
was
that,
lost.
that timer is 0, so you know what that means, lads.
It's been 0 for like half a minute.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I
my.
don't like to interrupt that when he's on a roll, because you know how hard it is to get him to speak.
True.
I'm sorry. I've been struck dumb by the Texas Lieutenant Governor.
Oh, yes.
There are more important things than living, he says as he goes to reopen the economy.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right for us.
The internet has, of course, memed him with Lord Farquaad.
Some of you may die, but that is a risk I am willing to take. Anyway, so you know what? You have just inspired me on what fic we're gonna read first.
Oh, we're doing a Shrek fanfiction?
No, we're doing a Ruby Bloodborne crossover.
You know, I think I would actually prefer the Shrek.
Yeah, same.
It
Fuck
might-
it.
think I would as well.
It
This
might
is
be less
intervention,
painful.
Sneaky. This is intervention.
That's cool and all, but none of you are
Read
paying
Shrek
me,
fanfiction.
so
Hey, I mean, I've been subscribed for like 27 months. Fuck you.
exactly. Ruby Bloodborne crossover. This is Fanfiction Contempt in 9003. Your host, SneakyDevil. Max has fucked off. Or maybe he's just lurking. I don't know. I never actually checked the. No, he's fucked off. Fuck Max. Oh, wait.
I appreciate
fuck
that
that
you
guy.
checked first.
And we got Atin here. We got Gray lurking. We got some Nordish representation here, and
Hell yeah. Diversity, for once.
exactly. I got some
I'm in a
diversity
depression
going on.
view.
So this is
As usual.
Bloodborne Twin, which obviously means it's going to be god awful. Just with a title like that, you can already tell.
Oh, look, there he is.
Oh, boy.
After you're done insulting him, he arrives.
there he is.
It's like he heard you.
That
I had
actually
some shit to
happens a
take
lot more
care
than
of.
you think.
I had shit to take care of. Piss off.
After being trapped in the other world for a long time. Oh yes, the other world. Which one? The good hunter
The other one.
finally returns to her native home. A world of bloody evolution. See, that comment still gets to me to this day, is I do not understand why Ruby is described as a world of bloody evolution. There's literally zero evolution going on. Like, literally, none of the Grimm ever change. The hunters never change their tactics. The characters never develop. Literally, nothing changes. What? What's
Oh, man
evolving?
dies. Your blood pressure.
I mean, yes, my blood pressure is most definitely evolving.
Oh, well, there's the Brazilian.
We got some crabs in chat.
I'm still pissed about the fucking founder badge, honestly.
With temporarily no memories of her past but the hunt, she heads to Beacon Academy at the behest of a familiar friend in hopes of finding her identity and her family. But nothing is ever as simple as it seems. No, there is. Salem evolves the Grimms after a mental breakdown. That's not evolution. That's literally
intelligent
that's
design.
creationism. That is
Yeah.
literally the opposite of evolution.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, some intelligent design theories do allow for evolution.
Does that mean Ruby is biblical?
Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me if
Look-
they did what many Japanese anime do and just, oh hey, this seems cool, and just take it out of the Bible. They do that a lot.
Look, I
Austin
haven't
Jesus,
seen
the
any
word of God.
children killed by bears yet, so I'm gonna say no. Ruby's not biblical.
One of my
Well, hang on a second. Let's be fair here. Mount Glenn was a tragedy. There are most certainly children that died to Ursa.
True.
Let's be fair here.
yeah, those are bears dead. Those are bears killing children.
It was clearly implied by Oobleck
Ah,
in that episode.
but-
Indeed.
But did the children bully an old man for being bald?
Probably.
Almost certainly.
No.
Almost certainly.
Anyway, so,
Alright, then yeah, fair enough. Biblical.
so this has 19 chapters, and for some reason, it's a Bloodborne fic rated T for teen. Okay.
I blame idiots.
It's about a book long. It's got 379 favorites.
No, sneaky. It's a book too long.
Yes, that is true. And it has been ongoing for about 3 years now. So, that's a thing.
Oh wait, last update, September 11th. Oh god, oh fuck. Twin Towers, get down.
Wait. Why? Okay, 2019. I was like, why are we looking at this?
He immediately thought 2001.
You know what the
Well-
question then would be? How did he get his hands on advanced copies of Ruby and Bloodborne? Like hyper.
Why did he do nothing to stop this from happening? Why did he just write fan fiction with this power?
So yes, the power of time travel. But fuck it, I
The
don't care. I'm
night.
gonna do fan fiction instead.
The night was nearing its end. The good hunter felt it from the very start. As soon as she
Arguably,
woke up to the sight of
he
the burning
obtained an
manor.
advanced copy, and he was in fact the one who orchestrated the plot, since we all know jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Of course. The plain doll, as usual, stood in the same spot, never caring to look at the burning inferno that raged behind her, with curiosity showing behind her hooded kabuki mask. The good hunter walked up to the doll for information. She simply wanted to know whether or not the feeling she was having was right. Good hunter, you have come, said the plain doll. Dawn will soon break this night, and this dream will end. German awaits you at the foot of the great tree. She points her white wooden finger towards the path to the gate as she says,
German is here
Go
to
on,
tell you that
Connor.
you're a punk bitch.
Why does that hunter have a kabuki mask?
I'm unsure. Probably because the author doesn't want to describe the face, because that would give away the identity of the person immediately.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, pretty much all of the damn headgear here for Bloodborne, except for the damn top hat, and will conceal the entirety of the hunter's head.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the
Hmm.
basic starting outfit with the tricorn cap and the high collar can be like, yeah, you could see the eyes. The end.
I see.
Just throw vile blood on it.
Thank you, said the good hunter, so her feeling was right. Everything is going to end for good, and she will soon be free of this cover. She strode through the gate with purpose, but she halted within 10 feet beyond the gate. Within 10 feet beyond. To look at the new scenery that was now all around her. She was treated to a graveyard covered in white flowers. Her eyes widened in surprise and awe as she beheld the beautiful scene. Even as the manor burned behind the gate, it only made the scenery all the more beautiful. That moment when you walk into a very picturesque scene in a Japanese game, and then the boss music starts playing.
No, 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 no!
Oh.
Splat.
Also, Max, the boss music starts playing meme has made its circulation once again, and I sent it to some of my coworkers who got a pretty big kick out of it.
Good. That meme, I hope that meme never dies.
I still think I want to play against the boss, where they actually edit the name of the boss too. When you beat him, the music starts playing again, but more intense, and like the Unbreakable appears right next to their name. And it's like, oh no!
Honestly,
I'm
that would
gonna
have been...
steal that from my RPG Maker project now, thanks.
You should.
Honestly, the ultimate version of that would have been patches.
Oh god, no.
Just
It's not allowed.
Just the same exact line. Just, you know.
Patches the Unbreakable. Such a lad. What a lad.
Such a dick.
Of all the people from the first game to make it, we had to get him.
I mean, we all
He
know
was a
why
nice
he
lad.
made it.
Like, I'm glad we got Andre, because he just likes blacksmithing. As long as he's got a hammer, he's fine.
What is my purpose? To blacksmith. This is acceptable.
I actually really like Patches as a character, though.
Oh, as a character, he's actually great. Although, it would have been nice to have, like, a full side quest explaining why he hates clerics so much.
I don't think he hates clerics. I think he hates the Way of the White. Because of the pretentious assholes that now fill
No,
it.
I think
Specifically
it's
asks if you're a cleric.
Yeah, he specifically refers to clerics.
Mm.
He has unique
Like-
dialogue if you're a cleric start.
Well, no, he has unique dialogue if you're stupid and tell him you're a cleric.
Either way, he's got some serious issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I like that the only difference between him kicking you down the hole if you're a cleric versus not is, like, I really hate clerics, so this is great, versus, you seem like you got good stuff, so I'm gonna be honest, I need to sell that, I gotta make a living. It goes from super personal to not personal,
It
depending on
goes
the
from
answer.
I'm killing you because it's fun versus I didn't get my
business.
stimulus check. I really gotta make
Didn't
rent
get
this month.
Gotta pay rent on that fucking cave I live in.
Oh, come on. The Cave of the Giants is prime real estate. Have you seen the view that it overlooks by the bonfire? Come
God,
on.
it's so dark in here. I'm gonna get my torch out. Gets torch out. Oh shit!
I'm just like, Sneaky, where did you go? And then I just see your torch come back, I'm like, what's wrong?
Fucking those giant bone dogs do not want.
Oh, it's a special moment when someone's playing that for the first time and they see it's like, God, it's dark in here, and you've specifically waited to tell them how to use the light.
Oh god.
Not in, like, it's not even that, because there are only 2 lights, I think, that there are 3 lights, I think, that work in there. There's the sorcery cast light,
Mhm.
there's the special lanterns that those dickhead sorcerers drop,
Mhm.
and then there's the sunlight magnet. I don't think the torch actually works in there.
The sunlight magnet. Now there's something I want.
Yes, I'm aware I misspoke.
No, but you misspoke into something awesome.
Solaire
That's
has
what I'm
learned
saying.
Solar Beam. Solaire has used Solar Beam.
It was super effective.
Solaire became depressed, for he is still not grossly incandescent.
Indeed. Blah blah. Manor burn. Blah blah. Perhaps Master Gurnham tended this place in honor of his lover of yore, Maria, or perhaps to honor the countless hunters that came through here.
I'm
Or
sorry.
maybe
Uh,
he's a depressed old man sitting in a chair because he doesn't want to commit more murders. You
Also,
think about that one?
I'd love to know what goes through this author's mind, because I feel the lore made it very clear Maria was not his lover, she was an object
Ooh.
of desire,
Yeah.
who
Same
wanted
thing.
nothing of this old man.
No, definitely not the same thing.
Close enough.
She may
Women,
never
objects, who
know,
cares?
but she did remember one thing. She had seen these flowers before back in the Astral Clock Tower. But she mustn't be sidetracked. She was summoned by him after all, and patience wouldn't exactly be a virtue at times like this.
By the way, I want to point out, there's so much that makes zero sense if you don't ever talk to Gurman. I know people who just never talked to him once.
Cool.
They
I
must
raised
not be
my
used to-
hand.
they must not have been used to Dark Souls type games.
They were not.
I can never find the man.
Listen for the sound of snoring.
Great, thanks, great. Now all I have is like this fucking cartoon morning scene where someone's just running around screaming, Gurman, where are you, through this house, and they're going like up and down stairs, checking every room, and just keeps panning back to Gurman sleeping on the couch, just fucking right in the middle of the living room, and they just never look on the couch.
Oh, you were supposed to go in there?
Pretty much.
Yes.
Through her mask's right eye slit, due to the strands of hair covering her left eye slit.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. Hang on, I'm sorry. She's wearing a kabuki mask, which doesn't have the greatest field of view, and she's also leaving her hair over the left eye. How has she survived this long?
Well, you see, through
I mean,
determination.
to be fair,
Monomonocular.
she may not have.
Yes.
You know what? That's right. I forgot. That's an in-game mechanic.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, it's a
that's
straight
not
up,
in-game.
yeah.
That's an in-universe mechanic. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Under the great tree,
I'm
sat
sorry. I
Gurman.
want to see the playtime now pop up. Like, it took you 300 hours. Why did it take you this long?
Because I had to look good the entire time.
I'm just really happy I still managed to pull off the Ruby cosplay in Dark Souls 3. Shiba blah blah blah. He was in his wheelchair as opposed to not being in his wheelchair. Waiting patiently for her. He must have known that she would be back at this hour, or maybe he just fucking waited there forever. You don't know. And knew what he must do. I mean, his house is on fire, so I wouldn't exactly, like, expect him to wait inside the house, you know? I knew what he must do, but so did she. With determination coming back to her senses, she continued on through the field of gravestones and white flowers, and finally up to the hill, to the tree. Good hunter, said Gurman, you've done well. The night is near its end. Now I will show you mercy. Sigh, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You'll be freed from this terrible hunter's dream. Wait, she interrupted in a gentle but stern manner as she held her hand up to silence him. For I am freed and returned permanently to the waking world. I wish to give you something. He raised his eyebrow at this. What is it? Never in all his life in the dream did a hunter ever give him a parting gift. He severed countless hunters from the dream as a way of gifting them freedom from the hunt, but not a single one had ever given him anything in turn. He never asked for one, nor did he need one. All he had ever done was guide them on the path of the hunt, and then sever their connection when the night was over. So this caught his curiosity. What could this hunter possibly have in giving him back, even during a time like this? She walked up to him, and then stabbed him in the chest multiple times, and said, Requiescat pasta.
Oh boy.
I'm just kidding. She walked up to him, reaching down onto a weapon that looked awfully familiar. She undid the straps to the weapon and pulled it off after she came close enough and knelt down for him to see. For you, she said. To his surprise, what she held in both hands was Lady Maria's favorite weapon, Brachio. He was speechless. He reached out hesitantly with trembling hands, and once he had a good grip on Brachio, he held it firmly close to his chest. He looked down at the weapon in silence. He remembered how he admired the elegance of its design and how it worked. Seeing this brought so many memories flooding back to his mind, to his youthful days as the first hunter and his time with his student Maria. But it also brought back the regrets he made long time ago. Oh, if he could just get one chance to change all that. If only he were brave enough to tell her those few simple words, but that was just wishful thinking. It was all too late for that. Suddenly,
What
I
happened
have
to
very
them
bad
being
news for you, old man. It doesn't matter how many words you use.
Oh.
She's still only going to have 2 for you.
Yeah. Also, what happened to them being lovers?
we retconned that.
Immediately.
Yes, within the
Could have
paragraph.
at least waited a chapter, author.
I thought you
like
had a
the
couple
idea
more
that he
words.
just got progressively more senile.
I thought he would have a couple more words. Something along the lines of "It's best not to disturb a corpse."
Bad Sneaky.
Suddenly, tears began to escape out of his eyes, and he tried his hardest not to cry. Oh, Maria. The hunter stood watching in silence, contemplating whether or not it was the right thing to do. She learned that these two had a history together as student and master, but she didn't know how close they really were. Tell me, Hunter, said Gurnham, after he wiped away the tears with his sleeve. Yeah, here comes the part where you're like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have done this. Where did you find this? What happened to Maria? Oh, well, you see, Gurman, I killed your student in cold blood.
I killed her. There was really no reason for it, but I wanted to
Didn't
turn
have
her
to.
knife.
She
I wanted to
prevent
turn
me
her
from
tail
doing
into a
anything.
knife. I mean, wait a minute, that's the wrong game.
Priscilla, no. Ugh.
Well, Max, on the bright side, we can always say happy Priscilla noises from our story.
Yep. It's a good thing we didn't have Atin co-writing that with us at the time.
Good thing At will never touch that story.
I
Not
only
if he
killed her like
values his
3 or 4
sanity.
times.
She was
As bad-
hesitant
As
about it.
bad as the people that kill Oscar on purpose.
Not because of what would happen if she
No,
told
I've
him
never
she
killed
killed
Oscar.
Maria. but because she
Well,
didn't want to bring
me
up all the
rephrase that.
horrible
I've
memories of
never
the
killed
nightmare
Oscar
that
until
she
I come back
traversed
to the
through.
asylum.
No longer needing to keep stalling, she cleared her throat before she began her short story. Blah 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 blah, hunters, blah blah, drunken blood, blah blah blah. Place was curious, blah 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 blah, hunter's nightmare, blah blah, astral clock tower, blah blah blah. And I had to kill her to progress. That is a blatant lie. There was a moment of silence between the two of them, a moment where a pang of guilt
I can
and
smell baked
anxiety
potatoes.
began to grow within her for telling him what she had done. Just when she thought she was going to regret it, he surprised her with an answer of his own. I'm still not sure how she died in the waking world, and neither should I want to know. But who you fought in the tower was simply her consciousness, and for that... Suddenly, to your next surprise, he smiled. He gave you a genuine, sad smile. Thank you for releasing her from her shackles, her nightmare. Okay, first off, how if it was just her consciousness, how did they take the gun from her? Is this fanfiction
They
about
turned
making
her
pasta?
blood
Yes.
echoes into a gun.
Ah, yes,
There,
of course.
problem solved.
I did what I had to. As for Rakio, I found it in a fishing hamlet, and I used it to kill the orphan of Kos, and released him from the nightmare as well. She did leave out about how she got the sword, but that's a story for another time. When she mentioned a fishing hamlet, though, Gurman,
You okay?
Gremlin, alright.
the gremlin shuddered.
It's Germlin, the Germlin.
At the memory of his crime. Yes, I remember that place. I remember the atrocity we committed, all in the name of pursuing knowledge, they said. Looking back at it now, I'd say it was out of pure insanity. I used to have these sorts of dreams, you know, continued, reminding me of my past deeds. Smiled again. But it seems I have you to thank for releasing me from my burden. I'm glad I could help, she said as she gave a sad smile, but her expression then changed to that of a pleading look. But I have a question, too, if you do not mind. He frowned, he looked at her in contemplation, and having the impatience grow inside him. After a moment, he decided to give her a little more time, despite the dream, about to die at any moment. This is the other thing I don't really understand about Bloodborne, because as far as I was aware, Gurman's basically aware that he's trapped in an endless cycle where the night restarts over and over again with a new person.
Yes,
Okay.
he is.
He is fully aware of that.
Okay. Just making sure because
He's also fully aware that someone has to be stuck there.
well, not only that, there must always be a Gurnam, there must always be a first hunter, and there must always be a moon presence. So the
And
closest
depending
you
on
get to breaking the cycle.
how recent the moon presence is, they might make it a little less garbage for Gurnham for a while.
Well, the thing is I think the closest you get to breaking the cycle is when you kill the moon presence and become the next moon presence.
Yep, you become a young, fledgling great one. It's implied that that is just straight up the first break in the cycle that would have occurred. But, like many FromSoft games, it could also literally just be, cool, you've restarted the cycle from step 1 instead of step 1000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Miyazaki really loves his cycles.
Yeah, as far as I was aware, Yarnum was basically trapped forever in a loop, where things just happen again and again, basically like Groundhog Day.
Not sure about that, but they get it pretty hard.
Well, I'm not even sure what the point of restart like restart, like who cares if the cycle restarts? It still sucks for Gurman.
Well, I mean, yes, but my point here is the relevance to this story, and where Gurnham's like, oh yes, you've cleansed all these things and you've killed all these people and you've really released me from my burdens, and I'm sitting here going like, wait, isn't like Gurnham completely aware that they're just gonna kind of sort of like retroactively come back once this dream ends for this person and the dream begins for another person?
There will be another dream at some point. He is aware of that.
Okay. Yeah, that was my point. Is basically
Also,
that he shouldn't be
yeah.
having this emotional moment about burdens
He
being
may
lifted.
be faking it just to help with the hunter.
Yeah, well, the burden I think comes more from like I gotta put you down now so you can wake up.
Well, yes, but he's talking about the fishing hamlet was a great burden that the good hunter has released from him, and I'm
Oh,
just
for
sitting
this
here
poem
like,
specifically, yeah.
yeah. So I'm just sitting here like specifically, I'm like, is this like what kind of lore is this author going with here? That there's, even though there's been multiple hunters, and they've all tread the exact same path, for some reason the good hunter, what they did actually stuck? Question mark? I don't know, man. Either way, blah blah, guiding hunters, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Are you ready? And then he takes out his scythe and he puts the scythe to her neck. Blah 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 blah. She discovered what it meant to be pale blood. She did not want to transcend the hunt or ascend as a great one. Home was her goal. Blah 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 blah. Unknowns to her, someone had already known who she was and her plan and her plight, and also knew where she came from, so it decided to fulfill her wish. He swung the scythe to cut her neck, and it didn't happen the way it normally happens. When the scythe was to cut through the flesh and bone of her neck, it only went through air. The supposed to be sacrifice that was once the good hunter was now a ghostly outline of arcane energy that dissipated as the scythe went through the neck portion. This incident has left a feeling of an unfinished ritual and a dumbfounded Gurnham.
Okay.
Sure.
So,
Why not?
literally the only great one left is the moon presence. Unless we're going to say one of the gods of light or darkness interfered here. This is a Bloodborne of Ruby Cross, everyone, for those who are joining us right now. So far, it's just been Bloodborne stuff. And we've just been discussing the lore of Bloodborne and how the author is using their own headcanon for some of the stuff. But I'm really confused on this part. I'm not sure. Like, the whole, like, Gurnham killing you thing is actually him just waking you up, right? As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it is. It's not an actual sacrifice. Like, literally, it goes through your neck, and then there's a cutscene of you waking up at one of the wells in Yarnum, at one of the like
Right, yeah,
hub
okay.
points.
That's what I thought. So what I'm confused by now is why the entity interfered. If she wants to go home, Gurnham cutting her head with the scythe would have done that.
Yeah.
But the entity
it
was
would've-
like,
It would have
nah,
transported her immediately. Yeah.
I'm gonna transport you there instead. Which, okay, I guess. So, the hunter was sleeping in the woods. Just, you know. Blah blah blah, grim. Blah blah blah, she stirred. Blah blah blah. She woke up. Blah blah blah. Dense dark forest, forbidden forest, blah blah. Vegetation was green. I wonder what the air smells like. And she took off her hood, and she took off her mask, and she sucked in air, and she was like, "Wow, this tastes like good air." And then the bushes started shuffling, and she put on her mask. She dropped her mask, and she pulled out her blades and her hunter pistol, and she aimed the pistol at the bush. And then she was like, "Wow, man, I'm gonna go have a flashback about how I acquired this pistol." But then she was like, wait, no, I shouldn't have a flashback about how I acquired this pistol. I'm about to fight something.
Was the secret ingredient
Wait.
murder?
What the fuck?
What?
It always is.
What, Max?
I'm really worried about this author's mental faculties.
What mental faculties? He doesn't have any.
Is that because the hunter pistol is a item you were given early in the game?
No, it's not even that. It's a later paragraph. How did she still have them? How did she remember their fun? It's like, bitch, you were a hunter in a dream. That doesn't mean you stopped being a hunter.
I mean, maybe it does. You're supposed to forget the dream, so technically speaking, if you were sacrificed and killed by Gurnham, you would forget all your stuff that you had in the dream.
The problem or the implications you get with that stuff is like, well, since we are given the title of Good Hunter, they're theoretically the chosen one in the same way the chosen undead was the chosen one.
Chosen one. So
Although
anyway.
they might actually be a chosen one.
So in a little tiny bunny rabbit came out, and then the author decided to cameo that Naruto scene where she was like, "Lol, it's just a rabbit," and then the Grim came out. I'm just kidding. It was no Grim. She was just reminiscing about all the tools that she shouldn't have, and the sound of a boy.
I forgot about that. So, I'm sorry about the whole forgetting the dream thing.
Mm.
There are some hunters who are like Eileen, one of the better NPCs, straight up like, "Oh wow, you still have dreams, huh? Tell the doll I said hi," implying that she herself was stuck in a dream similar to what the Good Hunter stuck in. It's not so much Gurma's not saying you're guaranteed to forget, but a lot of people don't recall dreams unless the dream leaves a big impact.
I would argue that spending years committing beast murder would leave an impact, but
Probably, since hunter is a legitimate occupation. There's so many weird things about that setting and that world building.
Eldritch abominations, yay.
My favorite.
Also, Ruby crossover with this, where the Dark God is the Moon Present. This is the world he went to when he got bored of Remnant.
oh god.
Wait, what?
The Moon Presence is just the Dark God from Ruby. Let's see that crossover, where he's...
Oh. I thought you were spoiling parts of this story. I was like,
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible
I wish.
did without even reading it. That does happen, where
Big
you
meme.
just connect pieces. But
So anyway, blah blah blah. Boy, it's a tame rabbit, and some boy's looking for it, and she puts on the mask, and the boy's like, "Whoa." Blah blah.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask.
She took a deep breath and walked out from behind the tree with the rabbit, and was going to give it back to the boy as a peace offering. Wow, so that's that's a real interesting first chapter.
Oh.
That was literally
Quite the
it.
opposite.
That was all. There was literally nothing there that made me interested at all in reading this story. There was no hook. It's literally just a unknown Ruby character, possibly an original character, ends up in Bloodborne, completes all of Bloodborne off screen, and then leaves Bloodborne. And now she's back in Remnant with no memory of anything of her homeland because she didn't wake up the normal proper way.
So, to build on the hook analogy, instead of going fishing, this fucker just threw the fishing rod into the water, hoping for the best.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Yes, actually.
Because there's literally nothing there to keep me interested. I mean, to be fair, his spag was okay, and he wasn't overly prosy. So, I mean, kudos to that right there, but there is literally nothing to keep me interested, and the title, the Bloodborne Twin, definitely 100% red flags right there, and there was nothing in the first chapter that made me want to go, yeah, maybe I can ignore the title and all of its cringe.
You know, whenever I hear or see written spag, I immediately think of Spurg.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. God
It's
of
just
Light
like,
is the
oh.
Lord of Cinder. Oh, now that's a fight.
You dick.
Let's see here. The Slayer of Pandora, a Doom Borderlands crossover by XX Agent Venom 666X. I'm getting some
That was-
fucking.
Well,
That was a string
Well,
of words.
that's enough for me for tonight, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say goodnight. You guys have a good
Alright.
time.
Goodbye.
Try to kill yourselves, because I sure will.
So this is the Slayer of Pandora, a Doom Borderlands crossover. Being saved from death and reborn in another world was a stretch of the imagination. Having to fight the legions of hell itself and stopping a demonic invasion, even more so. Being betrayed and sent to a savage planet in the midst of a war with the fate of countless in the balance. Good thing Mason learned to adapt, but can he save this world when hell follows in his wake? OC times Lilith, Angel, and Maya.
See, I don't know anything about Borderlands, but OC times that many makes me immediately turn it off.
Wait, so
Author's note. Been going through all of my stories and culling some. I decided to start a new one. That's this one. Let's see. I decided to go through all my old stories and combine the two of them to make a new one. And that, with the release of Borderlands 3 and with the upcoming release of Doom Eternal, I couldn't think of a better one than Doomslayer in Pandora. Really, you couldn't think of a better one. I could think of hundreds of better ones.
Doom
7,
Slayer,
8,
oh, wait.
possibly 9.
Doom and Devil May Cry would have been fun.
And so I brought back my old OC, Mason Riley, from my original fic, A Slayer's Journey, in which the OC becomes the Doomslayer.
No. That sounds dumb. Stop it.
Can we eat this already?
We could, but I want to see how bad it gets. I know, I have lots of stories that are still in progress, but I like writing new ones. I know it's frustrating for everyone, but it's even more frustrating for me. Ah, yes. Author keeps writing new stories. Author most affected.
The usual.
Fucking
Makes
sorry, man.
sense, I guess.
I'd much rather take a hiatus and try and write other stories than trying to force my way and mess up something good. Well, you don't have to worry about that, author. I can tell you from this
I
so
don't think
far,
you need to have that concern at all.
yeah, that's not going to be a concern for you. I understand that writing character moments with Doomslayer can be samey after a conversation or two, but come on. That's why you have to be creative with interactions with the environment, which is another key character writing method. It's something I actually make heavy use of in the Dark Souls story, because both of the
You
characters
mean when you
involved.
actually bother to write it?
No, when I actually bothered to write it, yes. It's actually something I make heavy use of because a lot of the characters that I write are people that don't really have thoughts. They kind of just say what they're thinking, and they show how they're feeling through their actions. And it keeps the conversations more alive than just two people standing there talking at each other. It's generally just a good thing. You can show tics where they're constantly tapping their hand, they're turning away from the conversation because they want to end it. Like little stuff. Good
Yep. Small stuff.
stuff. All I can ask from you all is patience. all that aside, I hope you can all get a kick out of this story because badasses are about to meet the biggest, bestest badass of them all. Oh boy, it's all in bold. Oh boy, that's a good way to start this story. Oh boy.
I'm glad I'm not looking at this instead of writing in a few.
Hi everyone, my name is Mason Riley. I am writing this so no one gets confused or ever believes me to be crazy. Then again, with everything that's happened to me, I wouldn't blame anyone for thinking me to be crazy. You see, I grew up in an orphanage, and I had no knowledge of my life before I grew up in the orphanage. Everything was just a big blur, and I get a headache whenever I try to push myself to remember. Considering that most people don't remember anything before like the age of 5, it's not that shocking to not remember ages 1 through 3.
It's quite normal. In fact, if you go, I have memories from age X, people usually think you're lying unless it's like a highly significant memory, like my parents were shot.
Or like the
I
time
skied
that
down a
we were
mountain
traveling to
backwards.
Six Flags, and my sister demanded a book from me that I was reading, and so I said, "Well, here's your damn book," and proceeded to slam her across the face with it. And then my mom said, "No, we're not going to Six Flags anymore because you just beat your sister in the face with a book."
To be fair,
This is sneaky.
oh no, I meant to be fair. That's a pretty solid reason for turning the car around. One kid needs to go to the hospital, the other kid needs to be punished.
Oh, she didn't need the hospital.
Just the walk-in clinic.
Look, there was just a busted lip and a giant bruise. She was fine.
And you wonder why your family fucking hates you.
Oh, there's no wonder there.
I don't wonder.
There's definitely no wonder.
Yeah.
I have no illusions as to why I have a minimal group of friends. I am fully aware of my issues. Anyway, so this is right here. This is just Chuny shit. I couldn't remember anything before the age of 4, and I got a nosebleed every time I tried. That's like such
What?
fucking Chuny ass shit.
Jesus.
The other kids avoided me.
You know what?
Mm,
I actually this is
Yeah.
more painful than the Chuny village.
So you actually watched that?
No, I read it.
Oh.
Yeah, that village.
Well, no,
was
literally. So
awful.
I got tired of waiting for them to come out with like a movie and another season and all that jazz. So like I just went and I was like, let's read the one. Let's find the light novel that picks up exactly where I left off.
Hmm.
And I was like, cool. This is garbage.
Yes. Yes, indeed. The other kids avoided me because I was different. Whenever we were all outside playing, they would think I was cheating because I was just so good at everything.
It's one of these things.
Even some of the older kids couldn't keep up with me. The people running the orphanage always said that I was unique, and that unique was a good thing. But I was an outcast among my people, usually playing by myself or reading in the library. I was content, but lonely. When I turned 5, I was adopted by William and Annette Riley. They were kind and gentle people. Annette was barren and couldn't have children, and they had agreed to adopt. With my jet black hair and silver eyes, I could have passed for their son, even though I wasn't blood related.
Silver Eye. What?
Silver
Silver
blue.
eyes.
They're supposed to be silver blue. Sneaky's taking artistic license again.
Look, if this guy wants to be a chuny fuck, I'm going to
Oblige him?
oblige him. Yes. Why is it all in bold? Welcome, Pedro! Welcome to hell!
I like that this is the first time he's paying attention to what's actually typed out on the screen.
I don't know, I kind of do enjoy the fact that I'm put on in the background, and then occasionally people will click over and be like, what in the unholy fuck am I looking at?
Why is this here? Why did I look?
I'm like the Cthulhu of fanfiction. What is seen cannot be unseen. They brought me home and loved me like their own.
That is generally what happens with adopting parents, yes.
Yeah, typically. The void in my life was being filled now that I had a family. The Rileys were well off, and both of them were high-paid bankers that invested their money very well. Though they didn't care much about their material wealth, they loved the simple things in life and raised me with the
Alright,
same
no,
morals
listen,
and
that's a
ethics.
lie. They're a banker.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do have to agree with Atin on this one. If you're a straight banker that does investments, you definitely love money.
And this is how we learned that this author has no idea how the world works.
Probably.
No, probably.
Y- y-
As
you
the
don't come
years
in-
went by and I adapted well to my new life, going to school and getting high marks in all of my classes with scholarships to multiple colleges in the US. I had also taken up physical training. After discovering how strong and fast I was, my adopted father wanted me to use it in a positive way. So I took up weightlifting and kickboxing as a way for me to train myself and keep my body in peak condition. Kickboxing, really.
I mean,
I have mixed
kickboxing demands-
opinions. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I have mixed opinions about kickboxing because it's one of those martial arts that you kind of have to dedicate yourself to. Because when you fuck up when you're kickboxing, there's basically no recovery. You're kind of just straight fucked.
Yeah.
It might as well have just gone full bore and gone for its big brother, Muay Thai.
Yeah, I don't know why not. I mean, if you got rich parents, you can probably find a trainer that actually teaches the real thing.
The terrifying, horrifying real thing.
Hey, what if we just made use of, like, every possible major joint on the human body? Why are you like this?
It's like street fighting, but organized. Life was good, and I wouldn't trade that for anything in the universe. Then it all changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Potatoes probably does have a fuck ton of vetoes.
He does have a fuck ton of vetoes. About
Gonna
3
have
months
to go ping Amora.
after I started attending college in New York, I got a phone call from home. My parents were all dead.
Wow, that's a phone call. Pretty
Mhm.
sure that's not how those phone calls get delivered.
No, it could be. My world came crashing down. After worrying the hell out of my friends and teachers, I managed to pull myself together. I made the trip down to
Down to...
Rohad Island.
Ah, yes, Rohad Island, where the land of Rhode Island slowly morphs into Rohan.
Indeed. Look, I disrespect Rhode Island as much as the next Northeasterner, but come on. Really? The funeral was a beautiful affair.
Wait. Oh, wow. Okay, I finally found the spelling that... Why were they trying to combine both versions of that word?
I don't know. I don't know. The funeral was a beautiful affair. Friends of my adopted family gave me their condolences and offered to help me in any way they could if I needed it. When everything was all said
I
and
don't
done,
think he needs any help. His parents were investment bankers.
yeah. When everything was all said and done, I went to our family home, a home that was on a 6-acre field along the coast, facing the Atlantic Ocean.
You know what? We finally got something realistic for investment banking families.
A 6-acre field with the coastline.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, just a minor note. Not
facing-
concerned with material wealth.
Yes.
6-acre home.
Yes.
Like,
The
I'm
coast
not
facing
concerned with
the
material
Atlantic
wealth,
Ocean.
but I am concerned with keeping the peasants away from my material wealth. That's what that is.
I just really like this final part right here, the coast facing the Atlantic Ocean, as opposed to having a house on the East Coast facing the Pacific Ocean.
They want to look at the good ocean.
I'll give you that. It was a beautiful place, but it felt so empty now that I was all alone again. Also, contributing to that might have been the fact that it was a mansion and fucking huge. A few days after the funeral, I met with the lawyer handling my parents' will. I had known him since I was adopted and considered him an uncle. He explained to me...
Never trust a lawyer.
Never trust. Especially if he's your uncle. He explained to me that my parents had left me everything. Their home, cars, and money. Cars!
Wait!
Multiple cars!
His parents left him everything?
They weren't concerned with material wealth, but they had multiple cars. Interesting.
Well, no, I mean, that could just be 2 cars.
True enough, I suppose.
Like, we don't know. Cars could mean anything from the dad had a garage with,
Tony Stark.
like 17 cars in it to, yeah, they had, the mom had a Subaru and the dad had a Toyota. Like,
if they were investment bankers, they also likely had an out-the-ass level of life insurance. Yeah, probably, Isley.
oh, God, yes.
Money and stocks that were being well-maintained, none of it mattered to me. I did not care for any of it. Okay, look. So I actually have to clap back on people that have this sort of opinion. That opinion of, oh, money doesn't matter to me, it can change real fucking fast when you're like, oh, yes, I think I can afford to be extra fancy today by putting an egg in my cup ramen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your opinion on money is gonna change real fucking fast when that's a discussion you have. Whether to spend the extra 5 cents.
Do I or my ever personal favorite? Do I turn on the heat today, or do I feed my kids for a week?
Yeah, that's especially in the northern parts of this country, where it's like, I could freeze to death, but
I could save $200.
I could save money and eat. And then I can unplug my fridge because it's going to be so cold in my house that I can just literally leave shit out to freeze. How is egg and cup noodle? Egg and cup noodle is actually pretty good. It if you heat it if you heat it up enough, you get the egg going and then you spin it as you're cracking the egg into it. You can basically sort of get the egg drop effect that you get from egg drop soup, and it adds a nice little fluff to the cup noodle.
Well, it's also getting you the protein that you're normally robbing yourself of eating instant ramen.
Yes, that too.
Of course, it still doesn't fix the biggest problem of containing 2,000% of your daily sodium intake.
No, but on the upside, you don't have to salt the egg.
That
he's got a point. Listen, this is sneaky. Let's just be amazed he's finding any kind of silver lining right now.
Max, excuse you. I am a master of finding silver linings because my entire life has just been a gray cloud.
Hold up. Sneaky can't afford a silver lining. This is like a copper lining.
Exactly. That's why I'm finding them. I never said I was paying for the silver
price
lining.
range too. I'm just gonna point that out.
Oh yeah.
Scrapyard prices, yo.
Hey, look, man. All I'm saying is, if you leave that TV or AC unit out, don't expect to find any copper in it afterwards. And that was actually a really big problem in New Jersey. South Jersey, at least. is basically any piece of tech that was left out near the curb would be like stripped within the day.
I knew a family. I knew one family. The mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she literally just sat out by a TV that they were trying to get rid of, and she sat out there all day because she wanted to make sure someone actually got use out of the TV, or that they were going to pay them for the the
scrap.
copper and stuff.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "Oh, hey, can I have that TV?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, if you bring a truck." And she's like, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And they came and they brought a truck, and then took a picture of the license plate, and they're like, "Oh, what'd you do that for?" She's like, "Oh, just in case you're one of those people who would like drive 2 blocks down and dump it, stripped of the copper, so that we can get you for littering," because she ran the homeowners association.
Right, yeah.
It was pretty funny. I think that person ended up taking a TV they didn't actually want,
Yeah.
which is great.
In South Jersey, basically, if it was near the curb, it was free game. There was even a dumping ground for car crashes, where the person, I guess, just couldn't either couldn't afford or didn't want to get their car fixed or whatever, or it was impounded or something, and the police would tow it to this one specific parking lot, and more or less would just look the other direction, and those cars would be dismantled within the week, like literally just gone. Like someone would take some of the doors, someone would take the glass, someone would take the wheels. Just fucking like nothing. Basically, the frame is all that's left by the end. Good old Jersey.
Yeah.
Anyway. Materialism didn't appeal to me since they raised me that way. That's not materialism. Oh, I have a bunch of money. Oh, I don't care about the money because I'm not a materialist.
That's not how that works.
That's not materialism. Materialism is placing emphasis on having things in general, not necessary things. Like, like materialism would be, oh, the parents left you all the cars. Oh, yes, I always wanted to have 17 cars. That's materialism.
Or it can also, well, as we say, materialism's weird because there's like 10 different forms of it. Because remember, there could also be the form of materialism of, I have to have whatever the newest thing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I need to have this pair of Air Jordans. I need to have the latest graphics card and the newest Xbox and the biggest monitor and all that crap.
Yeah, Aura's like, who steals a door? I'm like, yeah, someone who needs to replace their door. Duh.
Yeah.
Like,
you
or someone
underestimate mechanics.
Like,
and
I don't think you understand, but like, if you can just replace your door on your car, you don't even need to do a paint job. Oh my god, so many cars in South Jersey have mismatching colored doors and bumpers because it's clearly been a salvage operation that fixed their car and not a actual car part replacement.
proper.
Yeah, but here's the counterpoint to that. They fixed their car for free.
Oh, I know that's what I'm saying is they clearly didn't have the money to spend on getting it a part replacement, so they did the other thing, which was salvage off of someone else's car.
Yeah. Well, and the nice thing because I know people who work at lots like that, they will sell you that stuff dirt cheap.
Well, for free, as long as it's gone.
Well, I mean, it depends on the lot, but
Yes.
I knew one place. One place was like, listen, they literally they were like, you can have any car door for $15.
There you go.
They're like, we don't care what. And they had the like a couple of the paint, the paint sprayers. They were like, for an extra $15, we'll paint it to match your car, or we'll get it close.
I mean, I'm remembering now in high school, one of my teachers asked the class what they would do if, like, we knew in 3 days the apocalypse was coming and we'd probably all die or something, right? What would we do? And two of the students were like, yeah, we would go get one of the school buses and dig a ditch and drive the bus into the ditch. And we would turn it into a giant bake box and leave only the rooftop hatch open. And the teacher was like, I see. Can I join you guys on doing that? Keep in mind, weed was not legal at the time in New Jersey. And they're just like, yeah, we have enough weed to turn a bus into a bake box. And the teacher's response was, I see, I am interested, go on. Oh, New Jersey. Anyway, so to making sure everything was in order, I returned to the house and went down memory lane looking at a bunch of photos. I called the school and told them to email me everything and that I was going to take a hiatus. No time at all, I settled my parents' affairs and I drove.
Yeah, well, there's likely no affairs to settle. If this lawyer is as good as they say,
Yes.
I got news for you. There were 0 affairs to settle other than signing a piece of paper that says, my parents gave me everything. I have received everything.
Yes.
Or I've certainly received enough of it that I'm not going to ask any questions about what the lawyer hid off a Cayman Island account.
Indeed. I had no idea of knowing that things were about to take a turn for the strange. One where fate of countless hung in the balance. My parents told me from the day I was adopted that I was special. I was born to do great things. They had no idea how right they were. Anyway, so Mason snapped out of his flashback to no jutsu and ran his hand across his fresh buzz cut, and then walked over to the bathroom, took a good look at his face, and then described his face to himself. And then he thought, wow, I am a 19-year-old and I stood at 6'1", and I was built like an athlete.
That's not a thing.
What does that mean? Because there are a lot of athletes with a lot of different body types.
You can clearly tell this author doesn't actually work out in real life because they unironically said I was built like an athlete. And that's not even, you can't even be built like an athlete because that's not body type. That's not. I was built like a linebacker.
There's the football
I was built
player.
like-
There's the basketball player.
Yeah.
There's the soccer player. There's the wrestler.
There's
Yada.
other body types out there. You know, athletic is not really a body type.
It means literally nothing.
This is the most stereotypical Mary Sue I've ever seen. It's been a while, I will give it that.
My parents were so wealthy that money is no object to me. Like,
in fact, I don't even care about money.
you know,
can
like
tell
I
this was
will
by a
give credit
teenager.
to I think was it Crazy Rich Asians? I had to watch it when I was working in the video store because corporate told us to put it on one day. They're like, "Oh, we're putting on romance movies this week." I was like, "Kill me." They're like, "And you're going to put on the new one that people can rent." I was like, "Kill me." But I had to do it. Anyway, so point is, one of them was like, "You never told me that you were wealthy." My family is well off. That's the kind of thing a super rich person says. And I'm like, not incorrect.
Not incorrect indeed.
Like at the high school I attended, there were plenty of families that were well off.
Like, technically, my father and stepmother lived in a mansion. Non-technically, 16 people also lived in this place. So it wasn't like it was a, mansion and it was only 5 people living there or 4 people living there. No, it was a mansion because it needed to fit a really large fucking family. In fact, I remember having bunk beds up until maybe high school, simply because we didn't have the room. And the only reason why I got my own room finally in high school was because we built more bedrooms in the basement, which is also likely how I ended up with my eternal cough, because they never demolded the basement before they put me down there.
But hey, you got your own room.
Yeah, with double French doors. That
Listen,
that
they wanted to be certain you weren't doing anything like using the devil's lettuce.
indeed, the devil's lettuce. Because that's such a problem with me, worrying about me using illicit substances.
Okay, I mean, look, you walked around dressed like a hobo who might also have been a drug dealer. You really can't blame them for asking questions.
I can, because I was literally a teetotaler until I was 24. 23? 24? Somewhere around that. Sneaky, the basement work. Thank you. I appreciate that, Pedro. Anyway. Blah, blah, blah. He couldn't believe his parents were gone. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, my parents are gone. I've only gone through the entire grieving cycle, but my parents are gone, and I still can't believe it. Fuck you.
All the physical training had bulked him up in a way that many girls did double takes at him.
Probably in disgust.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little thing. Girls only do double takes at people they don't see every day. Or,
Yeah.
alternatively, if,
Famous
say,
people.
the nerd comes back swole from break, then they'll also do a double take. But if they see you every day, they're not going to be like, oh, whoa, he's so hot. No.
Like that whole thing where they're like constantly following somebody. No, that's something movies do.
That's a
That's
movie
not something
thing.
real people do. Let's be clear.
As the resident female expert, Isley, you're about as much of a female expert as you are good at technology. Let's see, here we go. His piercing, deep blue eyes
Oh, put one on the counter.
looked back at him with a dull shine. Scanning his face briefly, it revealed his dark circles underneath his eyes. That's funny. I have basically fucking raccoon bags under my eyes, and I've had them for years now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, welcome to my life.
Isley coming out of the closet. Congratulations, Isley. We all knew you could.
I mean, most of us figured you already had.
Grabbing his iPhone from beside the table. Oh boy, his iPhone. I am not a materialist. I grabbed my iPhone from the side of the table.
Well, I mean, my dad has an iPhone. It's because his company gave it to him.
Yeah, I know, but the author just got done talking about multiple times how the guy is not a materialist, but then blatantly has him using the most expensive phone on the market. Like, come the
Most
fuck on.
expensive piece of shit.
Yeah, it's the most expensive paperweight I've ever seen.
Not to
Whatever said it
mention
was
it
worth
actually
the money.
fucks with Samsung shit.
Let's see here. Blah blah blah. Sleep eluded him once again. It was 3 a.m. Oh, boo-hoo, you big fucking baby. At least you slept till 3. Like, no, you don't understand my level of frustration, Max. So, yesterday, I was tired, and I was like around 8:30, and I was like, oh boy, I'm tired, it's 8:30, you know. Maybe I'll wake up at 3 or something, and I can live with that. So I go to sleep, like around 9, finally. And then I wake up at, guess what time?
10.
If you guessed 11:30 at night, you'd be correct. And it's just like, wow, body. Literally fucking kill yourself.
That explains why you actually got that done.
Yes, it does. I was sleep deprived, which means I'm good at writing.
That is sadly quite true.
I should get to work on
Is
that.
the iPhone the most expensive thing on the market? Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, just a quick aside from Apple. Do you know what stupid shit they're hitting their customers for now?
Mm.
$700 for a set of 4 wheels to stick on their iMac Pro.
Wheels?
Like you'd put on
Wait,
a full tower
hold on.
desktop.
I remember. No, I used to own a full tower desktop iMac, and they provided those wheels for free with the case.
Well, now they're $699.99, shipping not included.
Why would you put wheels on there?
So you could move it around.
Yeah.
The problem is the iMacs went for a very aesthetic look, and so the plastic bits that stuck out of it were very much a don't try and lift it by this aesthetic look. And so basically the thing was absurdly frustrating to lift. And so wheeling it around was usually your best option. Not only that, the wheels don't have locks on them. Fucking wow.
That just seems.
Wow.
I just imagine some person being like, Grandma, we got you wheels so that if you need to move your iMac around, it's really easy for you. Oh, thank you, son. That's so kind of you. Puts wheels on. iMac rolls off the fucking counter. Oops,
Oh,
sorry,
see,
Grandma. Guess you
no,
don't have an iMac anymore.
Also, putting an iMac tower on the counter. Jesus Christ, what? No, those things are too fucking fat to put on a counter.
I mean, obviously they have wheels because they're made for the disabled, so they can move along with them.
No, see, I'm sorry. The mental image I immediately got was apparently the grandma owns a boat, and so as she's, on the computer, she's just sliding from one side of the room to the other.
It's just so she can Tokyo drift with her computer.
As the boat
No, she's got her
Tokyo drift
Tokyo
with
drift.
your Tokyo drift with your desktop. New sport. Just like install an engine on your fucking PC and just fucking start blasting Eurobeat while you're doing it.
Anyway, so you have 2 unheard messages. Hey Mason, it's Bryce, your bro. We're worried about you. Delete. Mason, it's Miranda. I just heard what happened to your parents. I know it didn't end well, but I was just wondering, could we get back together?
Delete.
Deleted.
Edgelord incoming, yay.
Talk about what happened in the relationship. There wasn't anything to say about her throwing their 15-month relationship down the toilet for a fuck. Yeah.
15 months? Really? Really? Also, how like either closeted and repressed
Absolute
or bad must this guy be if he's that built, has money, and she still went somewhere else?
Yeah, dude, his fucking dick has got to be microbiology.
Is that in fact the reason that the Doomslayer is so angry? He has a micro penis.
Like, when you make the joke about micro penis, his penis is the one that feels penis envy.
Oof.
Apparently, Isley also has a micro penis that's larger than the author's. Thank you for sharing, Isley.
Because we definitely needed to and wanted to know that.
Anyway, so the fallout resorted in a broken table that he threw across the room and 2 chairs that he threw at her special friend. And the special friend being sent to the hospital with a broken nose and fractured jaw. He ended their relationship right then and there and never looked back, ignoring her until she stopped calling him. How Rule 63 really happens for Doomslayer. Yeah, thanks. There you go. Attacking the mentally. Wow. Wow, Isley. SMH. That was a month ago, and thankfully he had his friends there to help him ease the pain. Also, yeah, I do have to agree with that in here. You got a blue-eyed, blonde-haired, rich white boy who's also jacked as shit, and she still went elsewhere. God damn, son. How did you fuck that one up? I mean, either you're a fuck up or she's like the most thought of all thoughts. Which, either way.
It could be either. I don't know which, but
The place was pretty grand. 5
either
bedrooms,
you lucked
3
out,
bathrooms.
or she finally got sick of it.
So this guy's a pathetic asshole. Yeah, pretty much. 5
no one's
bedrooms,
questioning that.
3 bathrooms, 6 acres of land with a good-sized pool and a stone tile patio. His parents were not materialistic, X to doubt. But the home alone was enough to show they were well off. Atin called it.
Yeah, I know. Also because I know those kinds of people.
That was the only thing they were really frivolous about with their money. Yeah, do you know how expensive it is to maintain a pool in the Northeast? Really fucking expensive. Especially an outdoor one.
All the fucking snow and all the fucking leaves.
Yeah. Leaves, snow, also you're nearby a coastline, so you have those issues, and, oh man, if you're
also
not
the
using
leaves.
salt,
Don't forget the leaves too.
Leaves were already said, idiot.
Oh.
No, to be fair, leaves do need to be said again. So many leaves.
Literally,
So many fucking leaves.
Leaves will somehow end up under your snow.
You don't understand. Like
even though you rake them.
you rake, and you keep raking, and there's more fucking leaves, and the leaves don't stop, and then it starts snowing, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and shovel some snow, and as you're shoveling the snow, there's more fucking leaves, and you're like, where the fuck are all these leaves coming from?
They're coming from north of the border.
Canada's sending their leaves.
When they're sending their leave, they're not sending their best.
Dude. Reaching the ground floor, Mason walked down the corridor that led to the kitchen and dining room, one big enough to house 12 people. Ah, yes, the non-materialistic kind of parents.
The best kind.
Heading to the fridge, he dug out a bottle of water and downed it in a couple of gulps. Why are you drinking bottled water? Oh my god.
Aura hates that we aren't even halfway through the chapter. Aura, that's because this author... I can't tell if the author is one of those people, or... Here's the thing. There's 2 possibilities. Either the author is, in fact, one of those people, or they've spent way too much time around them.
Indeed. The house was silent, save for the crickets. When the silence became too much, he would go to the living room and start on his Xbox 360 and play his favorite games. And he was always a big fan of Borderlands.
Can we just eat?
Oh no. The story
Regrettably,
was...
heat is not yet an option.
The story of Borderlands was really
get the
interesting,
potato.
and the characters were all awesome, and the games had a good amount of comedy mixed in.
Excuse me while I throw up.
It had taken him 2 months to beat the first and second game.
Okay, hold on a minute. Also, another thing. How the fuck does it take you 2 months to beat the games unless you're doing literally every single character?
No. Like, look, I beat the game in a couple days.
In fact, he was about 2 hours into the pre-sequel, so finished?
Come on now. That's mean. The pre-sequel had a good, like, 3.5 hours of content, Sneaky.
Ah, yes, my bad. Thinking about his parents made him depressed, and so he cried again.
What a manlet!
Yeah. Even though he's 6'1" and fucking jacked, he apparently cries at the drop of a hat. Cool.
And this is supposed to be the fucking Doomslayer.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the guy that turns into the Doomslayer. Okay.
I've never even played a Doom game, and I know how
you
stupid
sure?
this is.
Are you sure this wasn't written by Randy Pitchford? Are we sure?
I feel
Are
like
you,
if you're
are
gonna
you
have
absolutely sure this wasn't written by him?
Oh wow. So he throws away the empty water bottle. What, like a fucking piece of shit that he is. Drinks bottled water and then doesn't even recycle it.
Wow. This guy is definitely Randy Pitchford.
Hey Sneaky, got any more stories? Because we need something good. I don't know, man.
There shall be no good stories
I
on this day.
I
You all
have to
must
be
suffer.
reminded of good stories, dude. I have to read something that reminds me of shit, because otherwise I pretty much bury all my memories constantly.
I can throw what I'm working on.
No, we
South
must
Yarmouth was a small town in Rhode Island, located in the state's coastline facing the Atlantic Ocean, as opposed to the coastline that faced the Pacific Ocean, and a slightly long drive from Providence.
The
Everything-
2007 Mustang
Everything
GT
is a long
gotten
drive
as
from
Oh my
Providence,
God.
okay?
I can't believe someone was mean enough to give him a 2007 Mustang as a college gift. That's cruel.
That's pretty cruel. Oh, so that actually reminds me of a story. So, in junior year of college, my roommate's car got broken into. And it was the most baffling shit in existence, right? So they stole his broken iPod from his car, but somehow missed his $7,000 sound system that he custom installed into it.
Maybe they couldn't steal that?
It
that
pops
or
right
they didn't
out.
wanna oh
Yeah.
no, it's not even secured in the car. It's just modular,
Yeah.
not secured at all. What is wrong with your friend?
Look, he's from North Jersey. You have to forgive his retardation.
No. Being from
Like-
North Jersey is no longer an acceptable excuse.
And so anyway, but the most baffling thing ever. So we came out. So he brings me out to the car. He's like, dude, you need to look at this. I'm like, what do I need to look at? Your car's been broken into. He's like, yeah. Well, look at where the glass is. So there was somehow glass on the fucking roof, glass behind the boot of the car. There was glass in front of the car, and his driver's side window was the only thing that was smashed. And we're just like, how did the glass end up over? There was glass on the opposite side of the car, and we're like, what? How did the glass end up over here? There
Did they
was glass
custom
like
rearrange
2
the
cars
glass or
down,
something?
and we're just sitting there like, what the fuck? Did he like punch the window in and then rip it out with his bare hands, throwing it everywhere or something? It was just such a weird moment of how the fuck did glass, like the least amount of glass though was in the driver's seat. It's just like how now, brown cow, how?
I don't know.
Having grown up in Providence, he knew every road and landmark. And he enjoyed driving through his home state, taking in the sights and breathing in the salty
Yes,
sea.
all 2 hours of the drive.
Yes. Okay, no, to be fair though, that's like 1 hour. The Rhode Island's not big enough for it to take 2 hours to drive through it.
Scenic route.
Maybe. Catching a couple more hours of sleep, he got a call from his family
And
lawyer, Jack
I will
Mercer.
say this: I will give Rhode Island this. It is scenic as fuck.
Oh, it's very scenic. Yes, yes.
It's just that there's just fucking
Unlike New
almost
Hampshire,
nothing
which
there.
doesn't exist.
I thought Connecticut was the one that doesn't exist.
Canada what?
Exactly.
Canada shit more like. Hey.
Heyo. Anyway, so after catching up, it wasn't anything serious, just some more documents that needed to be signed. Being a legal adult, he was entitled to everything his parents left him according to the will. Even if he wasn't a
As
legal adult.
opposed to what?
Apparently this guy's never handled wills before. There also was a letter written to him by his parents, and he didn't read it because he wasn't ready to yet.
Oh my god, pull your...
No, that's not how that works.
It kind of
you
isn't.
kind of have to
Yeah.
have the last will and testament read to you.
Yeah. When everything was in order, Mason was talking with Jack about what's happening.
Again,
then-
we've established that this person does not know how wills work.
Neither. I don't think you can really call a 19-year-old pushing 20 a teenager.
I mean, they can certainly act like one.
Well, that's going to be happening for the next 10 years, so...
There's no hope for him.
With everything in order and blah blah blah. It's back in the car. A 2007 Mustang GT.
Which someone cruelly placed in his inventory as a prank upon graduating college.
Yeah, he doesn't even know who gave it to him. He was patting his pockets down and found a key.
The Mustang GT is the Tribble of cars.
That's insulting to tribbles.
Dressed in his casual outfit of faded blue jeans and dark brown Carhartt boots. Do not stain the name of Carhartt by putting it in your story.
I love how we're all getting so angry about this.
Because it's
black t-shirt
infuriating.
and denim jacket. Oh boy, he's a denim jacket wearer.
Of course he is.
Fuck him.
I stopped paying attention about 5 minutes ago.
I know.
You're not making
Mason, blah blah blah, embarkment, blah blah blah. He was getting really philosophical as he's driving next to this cliff hang. Blah 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 blah, tinkering with vehicles, and he loved fixing vehicles because vehicles and stuff. And then he turned around the corner, and then wouldn't you know it, a semi hit him too.
Vehicles and stuff. Sneaky Devil 2020.
I mean, his parents died to a semi, and then this is Semi 2 Electric Boogaloo. Jack secretly assassinates his entire family so he can claim the entire
reminds me, Max,
fund.
we have to finish writing that story that you were upset with me about the name for.
I feel like I've read that. Oh, you know what I've read that before in? Hush. Fucking
yeah.
Batman Hush.
Yeah.
Not sure what story you're talking about.
Batman Hush wasn't that bad, Max.
No, I'm talking to that, not you. I don't give a shit about Batman comics.
The teen twisted the wheel just in time to crash head-on into a Jeep. And then he flew off the cliff edge. And then he was like, wow, I'm falling.
I'm falling.
And then because he had his windows open... And then, because he had his windows open, when he hit the salt water, he started getting really cold. And he tried to stay calm, and so he undid his seatbelt as his vehicle filled up with water. After getting the safety restraint off, he pressed his back to the driver's side door and slammed his booted foot against the passenger window before it shattered. Oh wait, I thought the vehicle was filling with water.
No, Sneaky, it's actually filling with dihydrogen monoxide.
Ah, of course, yes. By that point, the Mustang had
more
slipped
deadly
beneath the waves of the Atlantic, and he managed to get a breath of air by treading water above it. Well, you would have been drowning with that because it would have created a riptide. It was a rough fit for his large frame through the shattered window, But he said, wait, you didn't even get out of the car yet? Yeah, you'd be fucking drowning in the riptide by now. Also, why not just open the car door?
That can be I mean, that depends on how submerged the vehicle is.
The vehicle hasn't even fully submerged yet because he's
Oh.
able to breathe air still. And on top of that, he's already kicked out the window, equalizing the pressure.
Yeah, wow, then, no fucking excuses, really.
Yeah. So anyway, he somehow squeezes through the shattered window. Because he was around water, he knew how to swim. That is not how that works.
Quite literally not how that works, too.
But it was a challenge because his boots were steel toe and were weighing him down.
Not how that works.
Still not how that works. With a lot of exertion, the teen breached the surface of the water, gulping in air as the waves knocked him around. Honestly, your denim jacket is doing more to drag you down than your Carhartt boots. Also, Carhartt doesn't sell steel toe, they sell composite toe.
Lighter. Not by a significant degree, but lighter.
Sneaky, it's clear the author has no fucking idea what he's talking about. I know.
That doesn't mean we won't take him to task for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we'd take him to task over it
Like,
even
see,
if we...
look, the thing
didn't know
is
that.
the reason why I am so nitpicky on this guy is because he's mentioning extreme specifics, like it's a Carhartt boot. When I know Carhartt, I own a lot of Carhartt product.
Why do
They
you
don't
own a lot of-
sell-
Well, I
Hashtag
mean,
not an ad, hashtag could be an ad.
Huh? Why do I own a lot of Carhartt product?
Because it's affordable and it's good.
Because,
Clothes,
well,
usually.
I wouldn't say affordable, but it's definitely in the lower price range compared to female clothing, at least.
Well, Carhartt consistently goes on sale at a number of clothing stores.
Oh, yes, yeah,
They
that, yeah.
last for a long time.
Yeah, their stuff lasts for fucking ever.
It's
They're
literally
very
it is literally
cost-effective.
aimed at like construction workers and shit. So jobs that you tend to do a lot of labor in.
Also, I like to support them because they support troops and first responders, so I have no issues giving them money.
They're good people.
Yeah, no, but I mean, they make really good boots, they make good socks, their underwear is great, their shirts are awesome, their pants are amazing.
So, when we get in that Carhartt sponsorship, Sneaky,
Not an ad, could be an ad. Carhartt, call me.
I
I'll
don't
take
know, if they
Carhartt
ever
clothing as payment.
I feel like if they ever hear half the shit that your guests sometimes say or see half the shit that happens in the server, they're going to stay as far away as feasible.
But we do actually have a sponsor today. It's Raid Shadow Legends. I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ. See, this is why I'm super glad that I'm not using my real name here, so that I can
Yeah.
go and have a real podcast with an actual chance of getting sponsored.
See, I would like to do that as well, but I don't really know what to do a real podcast on. So
You could try giving stock tips.
I feel like me not even having a portfolio.
You know what you should do now, ladies and gentlemen watching the stream? Buy oil.
Buy the dip, boys! Buy the dip!
God,
I
it's
mean,
so great
I
for
feel like
texting.
if we figured out something like 2 years ago, Sneaky might have had a chance at actual sponsorships.
Probably.
But that point of no return was roughly 2 years ago, I think.
More or less, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends, that's a low bar, Sneaky. They shell out to literally anyone. I'm aware.
But it's a bar that Sneaky can meet. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Look, I have to go for the low bar stuff, you know? I ain't going any higher. Anyway, so he breached the surface of the water and he's trying to swim to the shoreline. And his clothes are weighing him down, and the storm that suddenly appeared is making the water churn like crazy. And a wave knocked him off course. Well, you clearly don't know how to fucking swim then. With barely any air left in his lungs, he tried to swim to the surface. The current kept pulling him down. So you're in a riptide already?
How garbage are you?
Also, I would just like to take this moment to mention once more that Carhartt boots are either slip-ons or zip-ups. So...
I ask this as someone who had a friend literally die to a riptide and spent hours on the beach at 2 in the morning trying to find them.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So anyway, he's losing the battle, and he's drowning now because he's trying to keep his mouth clamped shut to keep the oxygen inside him.
Not
That's not how that
not how
works.
that works. In fact, you should be slowly bubbling the oxygen out.
By sheer luck, he breached the surface again and tried to suck in air, only for a wave to crash into him because you didn't pay attention, and forced more water down his throat, causing him to spasm and die.
Yay, it's over.
I was dying.
Garbage.
Despite how hard I tried, I couldn't fight nature, no matter how strong I was.
Not true. Nature can be fought extraordinarily well by human beings, as evidenced by the fact that we have continued to do so and thrive as a species. You're just
just
a
this-
letdown.
I was
You're
gonna say he's just
a letdown. As I fell unconscious, all I thought was about what I was leaving behind, that I still had so much more to
What?
do with my life.
Nothing?
What,
A
play
pile
more
of money?
Borderlands?
But you're not a materialist, so that shouldn't matter to you.
Yeah. It seems fate had other plans for me, and this accident was the start of something greater and more dangerous. So we blah blah blah, he's floating in a void, and guess what? Suddenly the Doom text appears. And the Doom text says stuff to him in a Doom voice. And then he wakes up.
It's a doom voice!
Doomslayer.
I like my version better. By the way, have you seen the did you see the guy who has the camera hacks YouTube channel? He managed to do a pull out camera zoom of Doom so that you could see what the Doomslayer looks like when you're running around having a great time. It is the dumbest shit.
Oh.
Of course it is. It's
Is
the
it
third
only the
person
arms
of
and
the-
legs?
Oh, he's just just zipping around, like 0 frames of animation, all kinds
rolling
of stuff.
around at the speed of
T-posing!
sound.
That's the Doomslayer's secret. He's been T-posing all along.
It's how he maintains such a rigorous.
He maintains dominance.
Yes.
That's how he got them abs of steel.
I feel like I should argue that, but I really can't.
Okay, have you ever tried to hold a T-pose, y'all?
Yeah,
Great. Now hold it for 20 hours.
that's fair.
This is fair. We grant you the rank of. We give you a seat at the council of the T-posers, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
Alright, Isley, very well. I'll give you points for that one. That's a good link.
What did Isley do?
What did Isley do?
Ah, damn it.
What the fuck
Not-
did they do?
Nope.
I'm,
Nope. We're not finishing that one.
I'm putting it in shit post.
Oh no.
Oh
Not.
no. Oh boy, here we go. Very nice.
All right.
What is that
Okay.
from?
So the original meme is 2 guys with toy lightsabers, and one guy goes, "All women are queens," and the other guy goes, "If she breathes, she's a thought." And so they just reversed it using the new
I
Star
see.
Wars.
Yes. Yes, I understand now.
I'm glad you understand.
This unit has attained understanding. It wishes to not understand. Can this knowledge be taken?
No.
Knowledge be taken.
All I heard was thought.
That's all you need to know.
I mean, that tells us all we need to know about Gray, I think.
We can't expect God to do all the work.
I don't even know what a
Aggressively
thought
racks
is.
shotgun.
I do love that picture.
What of
The burn man aggressively
Yeah.
racking a pistol. Can't expect God to do all the work.
we can't expect God to do all
I
the work.
actually did really enjoy the burn man and the take they inserted into that, where it's like, wait, you're willing to kill people? Isn't that against your religion? No. You see, we can't expect God to do all the work.
Like, that was really a great DLC.
That was a good DLC, but just that moment of like, oh no, oh dear, he's regressed back to the Catholics. Oh boy.
He's regressed back to the Catholic.
I mean, when you're dealing with a man who is literally trying to ape Caesar as much as possible, you kind of have to regress as well in some places.
Oh, Max, thanks a lot. Now you just reminded me of that that 4-panel comic where it goes insert thing here. Oh no, it's retarded when the guy goes to pet the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Just replace oh no, it's retarded with oh no, he's Catholic.
Oh.
Another completely relevant one is the Willy meme, where he is complaining about how blank has ruined Scotland, and then he finally gets down to Scotland has ruined Scotland. Damn Scottish.
Indeed.
Damn.
Except just replace all of that with all of the denominations, and then finally ending with damn Protestants. They've ruined Protestantism.
Indeed.
You Protestants are a contentious people.
You just heard an enemy for life!
Anyway. Let's see. So he's restrained. Stone slab on top of him. Sinister
What is he, the Monkey King?
Oh, he's literally waking up in Doom 2016. Yeah, he's literally waking up in Doom 2016, and he's doing the cinematic.
Huh?
Where he grabs the undead's head and breaks it on the stone coffin.
Oh, I know the cinematic. I'm just asking. My expression was of, what? Why?
Why?
For what purpose have you done this? Why must we be punished?
Because talentless hack.
Well, yes.
Oh, of course it's from Merryweather. Thanks, Merryweather.
Huh?
Merryweather is a very popular comic maker with some pretty
Eh,
hot takes.
Look, the first thing my head jumped to was literally the
GTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Which game was that from?
All of them.
Yeah, Merryweather Security.
Merryweather is
Oh,
the go-to security company for
all of your quasi-legal needs.
dude.
And now I'm remembering that one radio show they had in. I'm not sure if it was for SA.
You know, honestly, I feel like all of the radio shows were, and all the radio shows and cartoons were not scripted, and they were just like, all right, voice actors, just give us some shit, and we'll like do whatever with it.
This is a submachine gun. Come on, it's not serious. Oh, but you're Billy Dexter. Who are you working for, Gorbachev? That one was good. Hold on, I'm gonna try and find it.
Is there a difference though, Sneaky? I don't know, man. So anyway, Doom 2016, and he's like, oh yeah, stuff. Is this some version of hell or whatever? I'm in a lab, tomb, I'm naked, They're naked. I have a gun that shoots energy. I definitely don't remember being this ripped. Oh boy.
Entertaining America.
His face and hair were the same, but his eyes, what had once been blue, were now glowing red. What happened to me? Anyway, so yeah, it literally just Doom 2016. Yeah, Doom 2016. It's literally just Doom 2016. If you've played Doom 2016, you know what's going to be coming in this story. So it's just Doom 2016.
Cool. So no reason to continue.
So
Got it.
apparently, like, the next 3 chapters at minimum are just Doom 2016, and eventually it becomes a Borderlands crossover. Wow.
That's so fucking stupid.
I
This
cannot
is-
imagine a larger waste of my time.
Exactly, yeah. I cannot imagine a larger waste of my time.
Thank you, author. You've wasted all of our time. Fuck you.
Honestly,
Fuck you, author.
the character was awful. The dialogue was almost practically taken straight out of a romance movie. The author was emphasizing very strange things, like that he's rich, guys, but he's not a materialist. But he has to mention that like 29 times throughout the story. Just make sure everyone knows that he's not a materialist. And it's like,
You okay there?
I'm a little bit drunk. I've just been drinking a little bit, any bit. 5 shots.
Just a wee bit of drunk.
I'm just a wee bit lumped, Treddy.
I'm still
Woman,
depressed.
you have any grease in this kitchen?
Woman, you have any grease in the kitchen? My dick's stuck.
Pedro, you know what to do.
Is this the part where he's gonna just clip it? Yeah. Oh my god. Like.
Thanks for sending that to me, Max. All right, Sneaky, are we ready to do questions, or can I go eat and take
Yeah,
care of everything else?
yeah. So if anyone wants to give us a question of the day, be more than happy to answer anything that someone has to ask. We can clear it off for tonight. So I'm gonna give you guys like about a minute to figure out something you want to ask, if there's anything you want to ask, and we'll back to you. Sneaky with accent is horrifying. Really?
Yes.
It is extremely horrifying.
Why is that? Clip isn't generating re. Twitch itself has stepped in to put an end to your tyranny.
Oh, thank God.
So no one has any questions. No one wants any
It would seem not.
answers. Ruby lore, Bloodborne lore, Mass Effect lore.
Nope, time to leave.
Why I despise various objects and/or shows.
Because you're a very hateful, spiteful person. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, I am indeed a very.
Extremely spiteful, one might say. I don't think there's any questions. I think we can all just leave and go on with
All
our
right.
lives.
So if everyone is satisfied with that tonight, I suppose we will end it here then.
Oh.
Move on. Wow, those are some big fucking tires. Ah, yes, Comey with a gun. I am going to save that. Saving. Ah,
Oop.
yes. Thank you, timer.
What did the timer give you?
No, so how the timer works is that unless you're on that tab with that window open and focused on, the timer doesn't go off. So when you finally pan back to it, it finally goes off. And it's just like, oh wow, yeah, thanks, G. I know my podcast is starting soon. I've finished it.
Podcast is done. What are you doing, timer?
We're out. Peace.
All right, be on Atin. Okay, well, thank you
Yeet.
everyone for showing up. We'll see you next time on Friday, 7 p.m. as always, because there is, of course, always more, and it always gets